Back to the final video in the Business Mindset Manual series. In this video, we are going to be talking about the two-step process to closing sales in business. I am so super excited because, as we have mentioned in the previous videos, you are in business to make money, and what would be the way for you to make money than to learn how to close a sale? Many of you guys don't know, but this is the week to pre-order the Business Mindset Manual. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the 2 mindset shifts that you need to make so that you can close the sales and ultimately earn money in business. So if you're interested in that, I encourage you to keep watching. For those of you guys who have absolutely no idea who I am, my name is Stacey Flowers and I make a living talking. I get to travel around the world, inspiring people to create real, authentic, fulfilled, happy lives. I also talk all over the internet, on my YouTube channel, on my podcast, and all of the things I have managed here in the last 6 months to consistently increase my income, actually exponentially, but consistently earn upwards of $5,000 a month, working part-time in a company that I've built. And you all have been demanding more insights and wisdom as to how you can do that for yourself. And so I came up with this video series, as well as creation of the Business Mindset Manual, so that way I could transfer that knowledge to you all. The purpose of the Business Mindset Manual, it is designed to help you build a meaningful business and generate consistent income. Like, that is what I want for every single entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur who invests in the Business Mindset Manual, to be able to learn and walk away. So it's a 50+ page manual. You get unlimited access to these videos, plus a couple of extra bonus videos that I don't show here on YouTube. You also get my top 10 business mindset books. You get just so many different amazing things, because I want you guys to win with business. I think business is a beautiful way to be able to serve the planet, and I'm super honored that you guys have demanded that I tell you all my things, all my secrets when it comes to you know, being an entrepreneur and creating a consistent income. So let's dive in to the 2-step process to closing the sale. So first of all, I just want to kind of highlight some of the things that we talked about previously. We talked about how you are in business, the purpose of business, and you being in business or wanting to be an entrepreneur, the purpose of business is to make money, is to earn money, is to generate revenue, is to create money. You are not in business to not make money. You are in business. That is your purpose, is to make money. Everything else that you're doing, if you're like, oh man, I just want to help a bunch of people, but I don't want to make money, guess what? Then you don't want to be in business. You may want to be in ministry. You may want to be in hobby. You may even want to be in nonprofit. You may even want to be in just service and support, but you do not want to be in business. If when you think about sales, you're like, nah, I don't know. I don't really want to do that. Guess what? You don't want to be an entrepreneur. You don't want to be in business. And the reason that this is a part of the Business Mindset Manual is because it's really a paradigm shift to go from, first of all, being an employee to then being an entrepreneur, but then go from thinking negative, weirdy McWeirdpants thoughts about the process of selling. If you are in business to make money, the way that you get that money from your customer is to sell to them. You have to sell to make money in business. And for people who are like, no, I'm gonna be in business and I'm not gonna sell, I don't have to do that. The way my business is set up, I don't have to do that. I want to build one of those businesses where you don't have to sell. Guess what? That's not a thing. That's not a real thing. Every single person in business is selling. Now, there are many different sales techniques, there are many different sales books, there are many different sales processes, but make no mistake about it, you are being sold to all the time by every single person who is in business, and that is a good thing. Why? Because it's a good thing when you honor the purpose of something. If the purpose of business is to make money, and the way to make money is to sell, then that means you are honoring the purpose of business and ultimately winning at business and serving your customers and clients. Now, we've already talked about up to this point just switching your paradigm to you accepting emotional maturity and economic responsibility. The reason why that's important is because if you are an emotional child or you are emotionally stunted, when it comes to you then moving into the sales, is the reason why this is last. When it comes to you moving into sales, you are going to be willing to do whatever it takes to close the sale. That is a problem. This is the reason why sales gets a bad rep, because you have a lot of emotionally immature people reading books about sales tactics and then applying them and then selling people stuff they don't want, they don't need, they don't even have a desire for, and simply they're overwhelmed because of the emotions that you're able to conjure up because you're following a particular sales philosophy. That's why I put emotional maturity and economic responsibility at the beginning, because although sales is a part of your business, I want you guys through the business mindset manual to build meaningful businesses. That means that I don't want you to build something that's going to hurt people. And that's why when I talk about sales to people, like, I'm excited to talk about sales. Like, I cannot wait to sell to my target market. Like, I'm so excited about selling to my target market because I'm just like, I want to give you this thing that you told me that you wanted. And so for me, that's how I've set up my sales thing, but I'm able to have that disposition because I am emotionally mature, and I'm not selling from a broken place. I'm not selling from a needy place. I'm not selling because I need validation. I am not selling because I'm emotionally stifled and somehow my bank account being higher is going to lend itself to some piece of identity for me. I don't have those emotional issues. That's why that's first. Following that, we talked about setting your prices, and we understand that our prices, there's a very simple formula for our prices, and we're also not going to set our prices from our insecurities. Then after that, we talked about our target market and understanding that our target market is somebody who's expressed a willingness and an ability to pay for the business solution that we offered. And then after that, we talked about the systems. And so it's just like, before you get to thinking through in your business mindset the sales process, it's important to go through those steps, because again, if you are emotionally immature and you're trying to sell, there's going to be problems. If you are setting prices from an insecure place because you have not learned how to generate the positive emotions you need and manage the negative emotions that are going to come up, you're going to have a problem with the sales process. If you don't know who your target market is, we talked about this. Your target market is the heart of your business. The reason you want to know who your target market is because, I mean, they're literally the people that make your business go pitter patter, like pump, pump. Like, they're the heart of the business. And it's just like, if you don't know who your target market is, of course, when you try to sell, it's going to be the most difficult thing that you've ever tried to do. But it's just like, if you follow the process that I lay out in the business mindset manual and allow your paradigm to adapt to these new concepts and absorb these new concepts and eventually apply these new concepts to your life, when you finally get to the sales part, like, you're going to be as excited about me. You're going to be as excited as me to sell. Like, and a lot of people are like, oh, they're natural born sellers. Some people are natural born. Let me tell you, I used to think that I was somebody who didn't like sales. And then I figured out what sales really was. And I was like, wait a minute, I can sell in my sleep. I love this. But I think what happens is most people don't really understand what sales actually is. And my definition, the way that I think through sales is just the process of offering people something that they want in exchange for value. That is all sales is. It is me saying, I have something that you want, you have something that I want, let's go ahead and exchange this value. You get what you want, I get what I want, and there you go. It's this beautiful marrying of opportunities to give one person something that they want and for you to get something that you want. That is sales. When you do sales my way, when you do sales the weirdy McWeird pants sleazy way, I don't know what people derive from that. Again, I think it's a lack of emotional maturity, which is why that's one of the first tenets of my business mindset manual. So when I'm taking that definition and I'm thinking through this idea of like, oh my goodness, like, what can I create? What can I offer to people that they want? And then how much are they willing to give me in exchange to get this thing that they want? I just think of it like it's this amazing opportunity for people to say, I see you, I hear you, I get you, I understand you, and I see you, I hear you, I get you, and I understand you so well that I'm gonna give you what you want and you're gonna give me what I want. Like, it's like the perfect like exchange of opportunity, the perfect exchange of like stuff. It just feels good. It feels good. I don't know. Sales feels really amazing to me. I've always had once I thought about it like that, it gave me a really positive relationship with sales. So then after I define sales in that way of I have something you want, you have something I want, and that something can be I have the insight and wisdom that goes into the business mindset manual. You have the business mindset manual pre-order amount, or you have the business mindset manual, the cost of the business mindset manual. So I want that, you want this. All we have to do is connect with each other and give each other the thing that we want. Like, that's, I mean, when I think, I'm like, it's so simple. Like, I just need to get in connection to the person who wants the thing that I have and who has the thing that I want. Like, that's the whole thing. But obviously, maybe that's a little glass half full, optimistic perspective on sales, but it totally works for me. Like, that's just how I see it. Like, giving people what they want, offering people what they want. And since shifting my mind to think about it like that, it has made the sales process 1,000 times easier. So for me, what I do for my two-step sales process, and in part I got this a little bit from my business coach, but I think just in general, this has been my philosophy, but I think my business coach really helped to solidify, to help me to understand it, is that first, in the first step of your sales process, before you're ever linking up to take your piece of value and exchange it for their piece of value, or to take the thing that they desire that you have and to exchange it for the thing that they have that you desire, before you do that, the first step, the first thing that you want to do is you really want to give people value. And value is sort of like a buzzword right now that's like going around, and everybody's like, are you valuable? Are you offering value? Did you give any value? You need to be valuable. You need to give people value. And the way that I define value is just giving people results ahead of time. And that's actually the way that my coach defines it, is just, you are valuable when you give people results ahead of time. Another way, a woman named Maddie James, she defines it as being useful. Either one of these definitions work, but what I really love about this idea is that the first step in you selling someone is to give them results in advance. Give them results ahead of time. Before they ever give you any money, before they ever give you anything that you want, you give them a result ahead of time. You give them something that's useful. I think that's probably the other reason why I really like sales, is because I'm naturally a person who likes to give, especially when it comes to information. Like, my goodness, I think that's why I really like being a speaker, because it allows me to deliver messages. I never thought about it like that, but that makes sense now. But it's just like, I love being able to give. And so in terms of closing the sale, understanding that the first step to closing the sale is giving people something useful as it relates to the thing that you eventually want to offer to them, giving them a result ahead of time. I'm like, man, I can't wait to sell. Like, even when I was coming up with the business mindset manual, I'm like, okay, I know that I have the manual, and I know that I have the exercises in the manual, and I know that I have the step-by-step process in the manual. But if I'm going to offer people a business mindset manual, this 50-page document that's going to walk them step by step through shifting their paradigm, what can I give them for free so that way they can get results ahead of time? And you guys know I love talking. You know I love coming live. And so for me, it was a no-brainer to be like, oh, I'm going to give them the video version to nearly everything that's inside of the business mindset manual. That's what I'm going to give you guys. And one of my favorite compliments so far on this video series is somebody said, I've gotten more from your free videos than I got last year when I invested in a coach who I paid $3,000, $3K to. That's like the best compliment ever, is for this person, whoever this person is, to say, I paid somebody $3,000 to get from you what I'm getting for free, and they didn't even give me this, but you've helped me more. Like, I've learned more, I've implemented more, I've thought about my business in a better format more just from your free content than I did when I invested in a coach who I paid $3,000 to. The reason why that's a compliment to me is because when I was thinking about selling the Business Mindset Manual, all I was thinking about is like, okay, what information can I give to the people? Like, what can I give to every single person in my community, every single person who would ever want to be an entrepreneur, every single person who would ever want to build a meaningful business, every single person who would ever want to earn consistent income? What can I give to them? And so when I was coming up with the video things, I was like, yes, not only do I get to do what I want to do, which is talking, but I also get to give away all of this stuff to you guys, and then that ultimately turns into the beginning of my sales process. But it's one of those things where it's like the relationship is mutual, like the exchange is so healthy. It's actually, the exchange is out of balance, but it's out of balance in the way of not me taking from you, but it's out of balance in the way of me giving to you. And like, I enjoy being able to be generous. I enjoy being able to offer people things. I enjoy being able to give people results ahead of time. I enjoy being able to be useful for people, right? So that's like, for example, with the Business Mindset Manual, it's like my first step in the sales process is to, you know, give people value, like give them something. And it doesn't matter what type of business that you're in, and your wheels are probably turning. You're like, yes, Stacey, but I don't know if that'll work for my business because I'm in real estate. No, Real estate, it works the same way. That's the reason why you have an open house. You have an open house because you want people to be able to come in and walk around and see whether or not this house will fit with them. And I think what happens is we go wrong when like somebody walks in the house, like say you're in real estate and you are selling a 3-bedroom home, and there's a couple that's looking for a 5-bedroom home, but they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna come and look at this 3-bedroom home anyway. They come through the door, and because you haven't taken care of your emotional maturity or your economic responsibility, and they come through the door and they say something like, oh, I'm really looking for a 5-bedroom home, but we saw this and we just wanted to check it out. You then think that it's your job to try to sell them or change their mind so that they want to buy a 3-bedroom home instead of a 5-bedroom home. And it's just like, no, that's not your job. Your job is to give them this free, amazing value of being able to walk around a 3-bedroom home and see what the experience would be like of living in a 3-bedroom home, to look at the features that you have in this 3-bedroom home, to take a look at the floor, to see the high ceilings, to see the sunlight coming through the windows, to see that it's a ranch style so they wouldn't have to go up and down the stairs. It's not your job to try to sell them a 5-bedroom home if they've already made mention, or excuse me, to try to sell them a 3-bedroom home if they've already made mention that they wanted a 5-bedroom home. Your only job is to make that 3-bedroom home this beautiful, amazing experience for them. Not necessarily because you're trying to sell them, but because you want to be generous. You want to take this first step and give free value. And you give free value to the people who will eventually invest in whatever it is that you're selling, but also the people who won't invest, because sometimes what's happening is somebody who's coming in real estate to look at this home and they're not on the market looking for one now, maybe they have a friend who's looking for a 3-bedroom home and they say, man, we looked at this 3-bedroom home. You know, I want a 5-bedroom, but we looked at this 3-bedroom home and it felt so great. You gotta go see this 3-bedroom home. Do you guys see how that works? Like, because you're, as a real estate person, just saying, hey, I'm gonna show you this great value. Like, do you want this amazing 3-bedroom home? Like, we decorated it and we staged it so you can have an idea of the flow, have some cookies baking in the oven so you could see what it would smell like in the home if somebody lived here. Like, that's just free, amazing value that you just give. And you allow people to self-select in and say, yes, this is what I want. No, this isn't what I want. That's the beginning of your sales, is you saying, here's this free, incredible value. It's the same experience that you have when you are like, you know, passing a restaurant that just opened and they have free samples. They're giving you free samples because they're like, hey, even if today, if you can't invest in this and coming in to our restaurant, we want you to know what our flavors taste like. We want you to know what we have to offer in here. Like this, the reason you give people something that's useful or result ahead of time is so that way you can prime them for being able to later do the second part of closing the sale. But what happens is most people don't start with the first part. Most people are so stingy when they're trying to sell because they're so desperate, because again, they haven't taken care of that economic responsibility and emotional maturity. So they're so desperate when they're trying to sell people that they're entering into the relationship in a toxic way where they don't even realize it's like, everybody doesn't have to want the thing that you are giving away for free, but your position of generosity of like, I'm going to give away this free value, and for everybody who wants it, then they can have it. And so, for example, with the Business Mindset Manual, like, I'm giving this away to you guys for free, right? For 7 days, you guys get to look at all of these videos. There are thousands of views who are on here. I can tell you right now, 1,000 people have not invested in the Business Mindset Manual, even though 1,000 people have viewed the videos. I think the latest video has 1,000. Even though 1,000 people have viewed the video, I can tell you right now, 1,000 people haven't purchased. Do you think I'm sitting around like, oh my God, I can't believe those 1,000 people watched my video? No, I'm like, I am so grateful that I was able to give that one or 1,000 of them results ahead of time, because you know what, the next time, maybe if they're in a financial position, or maybe if I have something that they want, the next time they're going to think of me because I've already given them a result in their life. So even if they don't invest today, maybe they'll invest tomorrow. But the point I was trying to make here is that in me giving value to everyone inside of my target market, and even other people who are not in my target market, who just happen to stumble upon the thing that I'm giving away for free, the people that I know who want this particular value, the people that I know where I'm going to have that relationship where like I showed up with something that they want and they showed up with something that I want, those are the people who are going to go past the first step, which is me giving them free value, just me giving them something, giving them results ahead of time. Those are the people who are going to go past this. They're going to invest, and then they're going to have lifetime access to all of these videos. Those are the people who stood up and said, you know what, Stacey, I actually want this thing that you have. Like, you're giving away this value for free. I wonder what you would give me if I actually gave you something. Like, and it's just this relationship where back and forth. You get something that you want, I get something that I want. There's no short end of the stick. It's like, no, everybody's desires, their wants are met in this sort of sales process. So the first step is that you have to be offering, you have to give people value and not worry about the people who are coming in who really want a 5-bedroom, but you know you're only selling a 3-bedroom. Take care of your emotional maturity and your economic responsibility. Take care of that so you let everybody come in and view your free value. And even if you were in, if you're like, oh, well, Stacey, it doesn't work for me because I sell clothes, and so how do I give away free clothes? Well, one of the ways that, or how do I give people value through clothes? One of the ways that you give people value through clothes is you show them what it would look like on their body. Sometimes you don't have to give them the article. Like, I don't have to give you the pages of the Business Mindset Manual in order to give you free value. Like, you don't have to give me the shirt in order to be giving me value. You can show me what this shirt would look like on somebody with a similar body to my own. You can show me what these earrings would look like against my complexion. You can, like, it doesn't matter if you're in a product-based business or a service-based business. You can give people value. That is your first step in the sales process, and value is just giving them something that's useful or giving them a result ahead of time. And remember, this is just a 2-step process. The second step in the sales process is to make an offer. And the making of an offer is where you actually say something like, hey guys, I have a Business Mindset Manual. It's on pre-order for the next 7 days. This is the lowest price that it's going to be. If you're interested, the link is in the description box. That's me making an offer. That's me saying, hey, you've been enjoying these videos. If you want to have lifetime access to them, click the link that's in my bio. In addition to these videos, you're going to get the manual pages, you're going to get this. But the second step in sales is just to make the offer, to say, hey, I don't know if you know this, but I have a whole entire manual that's related to this very topic that I've been talking about for the last 7 days. Are you interested? That's it. And the language that you use is a little bit more personality based. Like, I could say specifically, I'm selling a business, but I don't typically just use it. It just doesn't naturally come out of my mouth. But that's the second step. The second step is to actually make the offer. And sometimes what happens is people will put the value out there. They'll be giving people value, but they never actually make an offer. And this is something where, if you have been following me on YouTube for a while, the first year of YouTube, because I was really focused on my systems, I let my customer base that I had already amassed privately sort of like run in the background and be how I earn money. And so what happened when I was on YouTube is inevitably people would be like, what do you sell? How can I buy your stuff? How can I get more of your stuff? Because what was happening on YouTube is I was just giving value away. People were like, could you open up a Patreon? What's your PayPal? I want to send you money. Like, people were just clamoring to try to figure out how to give me money. And a lot of that was just because I was doing the first step of the sales process, which is to give them value. Now, the reason I didn't, quote unquote, make as much money my first year when I was in my company is because I didn't make offers. Like, I didn't say to them, hey, you can sponsor me on Patreon, or you can, if you want to make a donation, donate to my PayPal, or you can go buy my book here. Like, my books are written, so I could have totally said, if you want more from me, you can go buy my books from here. I could have totally been like, hey, I'm coaching some speakers privately one-on-one. If you want to coach, I totally could have made offers the year that I was on YouTube, but I didn't make any offers. And I'm bringing that up to say that, like, the 2-step is that, yes, you give away free value, but you also have to make the offer. And the offer is literally you just saying, this is what I have available. This is how much it costs. This is how you can pay for it. Like, that's your offer. This is what I have. This is how much it costs. This is how you can pay for it. Now, you finesse the verbiage in that depending on what the offer is and what you're actually giving to people, but ultimately both of these things need to be in place. It's not just enough that you give free value and you're like, oh, well, you know, I've been blogging every day, I've been putting up YouTube videos, surely people are going to pay me. No, you need to make an offer. Like, you need to explicitly, in some way, shape, or form, invite them to be able to exchange this piece of value with you. Invite them to be able to buy. So if you think about Apple, for example, when Apple launches a new iPhone or a new product or whatever it is that Apple is doing, Apple, first of all, gives you all this free value in terms of they have like a website where you can learn things about it. They have like presentations where people are doing demos of all the features that you get on an iPhone. They put out commercials where you can see the features on an iPhone. That all of that is Apple giving you value ahead of time. All of that is Apple being like, oh, if you get the latest iPhone, you can blur the background right from your phone. Like, they're demoing it so you can see how useful it is before you buy. It is not until Apple puts up on their website and this goes on sale at midnight at blah, blah, blah. It's not until they do that that they've done the second part, which is to make an offer. And most entrepreneurs, especially aspiring entrepreneurs, they can wrap their mind around giving people value, giving them results ahead of time, trying to be useful with their content. But they get so scared when it comes to the point of making the offer because they don't want to say, this is what I have, this is how much it costs, and this is where you can pay for it. They don't want to do that part. And you do have to do that part. And here's the thing, if you set this up the way that I do it, it doesn't feel weird to say that because people will be clamoring and they'll be like, where's the link? Where's the button? How much is it? Like, like, I offer such great value. My sales process is so seamless that the only reason I created the Business Mindset Manual is because you guys heard me say some stuff about business and you were like, yeah, is there any way you could do this in like a manual form? Is there any way you could do a workshop? Is there, like, you guys demanded this from me. So then when I went to create it, it was fairly easy because I just was able to use the stuff that you guys said that you wanted to learn, that you kept asking me about. I put it all that together. Then I gave you free, you know, I kept giving you guys value like throughout my YouTube channel, but then explicitly going really hard in these 7 days of giving you value. And then when it finally came time for me to be like, oh yeah, the link is in the description box, you guys didn't hesitate to hit that description box. But that's because I honored the full sales process. And if you are going to be in business, you are in sales if you are in business. And Karen Bond, she says this on her channel. She was just like, the person who masters sales is always going to make more money than the person who is talented. And what happens is a lot of people think because they're talented, they don't have to figure out how to sell. But if you think about it, you being talented is simply you being valuable and you giving people value. That's you only taking step one. You have to take step two and make the offer. You have to invite them to give you the money. You have to invite them to click the button. You have to invite them to invest in your products and services. And you have to do it with explicit language that makes it very clear that this is what you have, this is what it costs, and this is where they can get it. You have to do the second step. People are frustrated. Like, you see this a lot with artists. They're like, oh, I have this beautiful art piece, and you know, I show people on Instagram, I show people on YouTube, I'm doing all this marketing, I'm telling everybody about it. I don't understand why I'm not making any money. Well, likely it's because you may be giving great value, you may be doing part one, but you're not doing part two, which is to make the offer. And the offer is, hey, you can have this piece of art on this, I don't know sizes, 8 by 11 seems really small, 11 by 12 canvas painting. You can have this 11 by 12 canvas painting to fill a wall in your house, and in order to get it, it's going to cost you $250, and all you have to do is click this link. It'll take you to PayPal and you can check out. If you are selling art and you haven't explicitly said that to anybody, that's why you're not making any money in art, because you may be doing the first part of showing them your style, showing them your methodology, but you are not making offers. There's this artist, her name is Deborah, I think it's Cartwright. I feel like I'm adding Cart to the front. It just may be Deborah Wright. I feel like I'm just adding Cartwright. I think I'm adding Cart. I'm not 100% for sure, but she's like a black illustrator and she makes beautiful pieces, and I've been following her work for quite some time, and I kid you not, every time she puts up a piece and she's like, this print is now available, I'm always like, oh my gosh, plan to buy later. Like, and mind you, she posts content on Instagram and she markets this like her art, and she shows us different pictures and she gives us that free value. And if you think about it, the value that Deborah is giving me, because I don't have any of her pieces in my home, I don't have any of her stuff, the value that she's giving me is that when I'm scrolling through my Instagram timeline, I get this beautifully hand-drawn illustration of black women like leisurely you know, hanging out and doing things with their lives. Like, she gives me the usefulness is that I know in my timeline daily, I'm just going to be a little bit delighted that her work has just stumbled upon my eyes. She gives me sort of just a, you know, it's just an upbeat delight. Like, the usefulness doesn't have to be tangible video. No, just her showing me what she was drawing today and me seeing my form and my likeness in the pictures that she shows when she's like marketing to me and she's giving me value. She's marketing to me, but it's also giving me value to be able to see that and then imagine it one day hanging in my home. And so she's giving me that daily on Instagram, and then every now and again she'll be like, and this print is available, and this print is for this. I only have 100 of these prints. And that's her making the offer. That's her saying, Stacey, I know you've been enjoying getting this usefulness and scrolling in the timeline and have a visual breakup of you seeing this hand-drawn picture basically of yourself lounging about. If you're interested, Stacey, you can click on the link in my bio and you can get this print. I'm only gonna do 100. Like, you have to make the offer, and people are so scared to make the offer. And I think it's in part because, again, you haven't shifted your mindset in the other areas that I talked about. You don't have enough emotional maturity to be able to manage for the feelings of rejection. Because here's what I've been offering you guys to buy the Business Mindset Manual every single day, right? Average videos is about 1,000 people minimum watching each video. If I did not have enough emotional maturity to say to myself, even though 1,000 people have seen my video, it doesn't mean that I have a bad product or I'm not doing a good job selling because 1,000 people didn't buy. No, I have enough emotional maturity to be able to handle that rejection. The rejection of 1,000 people watching and 1,000 people saying, okay, I don't want it. I have enough emotional maturity to be able to manage for that. But I also have enough emotional maturity to be able to generate confidence and say, if 1,000 people viewed, I may not have 1,000, but I am getting a really nice conversion off of that 1,000. So I know what 1,000 views converts to in terms of sales for the Business Mindset Manual. And it's just like, you have to have that in order for you to be able to manage the sales part, because you're going to be rejected. 1,000 people will look at your free stuff. 1,000 people will consume that value and not buy, and you have to be okay with it. But also, I'm okay with it because my prices are set and I know how much what I need to do in order to meet my annual goal. I'm also okay with it because I know who my target market is, and I know that not all these 1,000 people are in my target market. I know some of these people are in the community and they just want to support by watching. I know some of these people are in the crowd and they just happen to get caught up because they saw the title. I know who I'm targeting. I know who I want to invest in this product. I know that already. So rather than me feeling rejected by 1,000 people because I don't have 100% conversion, I'm just excited that in 1,000, I at least have 100 of those people who are my absolute target market. And because I then have systems in place, I know how to take that 100 people and turn them into a customer, so that way when I make the offer and I'm like, hey guys, this is what I would do right now, because the Business Mindset Manual is on pre-order. This price is a steal because you get all of these videos, lifetime access, plus a book list, plus when I make that offer, the person who I am linking up with to do that exchange, they're going to hear that and they're going to be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and click this link in her description box so that I can get this Business Mindset Manual, because I have been wanting to build a meaningful business. And in addition to that, I've been wanting my income to be consistent, and Stacey is actually offering me a manual that's going to walk me through the process of doing that. I'm going to go ahead and get that. I'm going to do that for myself today, and that's how you close a sale. You give people value. You give them results ahead of time. You give them stuff that's useful, and then you do the work of making a solid offer. You cannot close a sale if you don't do both of these. You can't, there is no sales process that is skipping through giving people value before you've actually made the offer and you are actually then getting money. And even if you think about it in terms of like car sales, like there's a reason why they let you test drive the car. You want to know why? Because they want you to feel the results and the usefulness of this car ahead of time. And it doesn't matter if you're buying a luxury car or you're buying a non-luxury car. Even if you're buying a luxury car and they don't let you drive it, they'll let you sit inside of it in the showroom so you can begin to imagine what it feels like. That is them giving you value. That is them giving you results ahead of time. People who blog and then they're like, oh, I turn my blog into my business. They gave people results ahead of time. It doesn't matter if you are in the food business, if you are in the influencing business, the speaking business. So the speaking business, people might be like, okay, well, what would I give them ahead of time if I'm in the speaking business? You're going to give them a speech or your sizzle reel. You're going to give them an example. You're going to give them a video of you speaking so that they can see what it's like to hear a message from you. You're going to give them that value. So then when you make the offer and say, hey, you've seen my TED Talk, this is my speaker fee. If you want me to come in and do a keynote, here's my speaker fee. They're going to be like, yep, absolutely. You're the one for me because you've already given me a result. You've already been useful to me in this video that I can watch of you all the time whenever I want. I can only imagine how useful you're going to be to me when I actually make the investment. It doesn't matter what business you are in. You can be in photography. My photographer, I went to Texas to get pictures taken. Mind you, I live in Chicago with quadrillions of amazing photographers, but I didn't want to have to build a relationship with a new photographer. So I went to Texas to take pictures with a photographer. Why? Because her value that she gave me ahead of time, first of all, I met her at an event, and when I was at this event, I was at my heaviest weight. I was still in the midst of like a very dark season of my life, like just coming out of the edges of depression and anxiety. So personally, I did not feel like I looked the most attractive in just in my skin in general. And she took a picture of me at that event, and even though that was my least attractive version of myself and from my own perspective, the way that she captured me, I still looked amazing. And I said, okay, she captures me well. So she's just going to be a photographer that I put in my pocket because she captures me well. Then I went to her Instagram, I went to her website, and I saw that it's not just me that she captures well, this is consistent work that she's able to produce. So not only did she give me that result ahead of time by actually taking my picture and then showing me what I look like, then when I went to her on her social platforms and I experienced her marketing, I was able to see she's able to produce this consistently. Her work was well enough that not only did she give me that result ahead of time, but when she made the offer that, hey, you can come and take all of these pictures with me for this price, all you have to do is pay this deposit. As soon as that was crystal clear to me, I took out my card and I said, here you go, because your clarity of offer was so easy for me to be able to say, do I want to invest in this photographer? And a lot of people are not giving you money, they're not buying your stuff because first of all, your value, the value that you're giving them, it's not consistent, it's not clear, it's not useful, and it's not giving them a result ahead of time. And then second of all, your offer doesn't make sense in the sense that, like, sometimes people will be like, oh, you can coach with me for $25,000, you know, let me click here to learn more. And then they click there to learn more, and there's no place for them to give you $25,000. Like, do you want that in one lump sum? Are you taking installments? Like, all of that stuff needs to be crystal clear in the offer, and most people aren't doing the work to make that crystal clear in the offer because they haven't built a system to be able to manage the thing that they're trying to offer. And it's just like, when you want to close a sale in business, and you want to close a sale in business because you are in business to make money, all you have to do is apply this two-part system, and you will find that it is very easy for you to predict your income. It is very easy for you to consistently earn money enough to be able to take care of like your rent and your bills, your real bills. Not just money enough to play, but money enough to live. Money enough, if you're anything like me, to free yourself from debt. Money enough to be able to do amazing, incredible things in and on this planet. Money enough to free you so that you can serve other clients in other capacities. This is the two-step process that I've always applied, even when I was in business before, but because of the paradigm shifts that I made around my business and this particular one that I built, it's been phenomenal to see the result of me being very, very clear about doing part one and giving people consistent value, and then moving into the space of making sure that I make offers. And if I'm ever in a position where I'm just like, man, you know, right now my income isn't where I want it to be, I'm not seeing the result that I want, I give more value, and then I also make more offers. And it solves all of my financial problems in my business. And when you can shift your business mindset to this, you will win with business. And winning with business essentially is earning money. Why? Because the purpose of business, say it with me, is to earn and make money. That is the purpose of business. We get that the heart of business is our customers and our clients and our mission and our vision, But the purpose of business is to make money, and you make money through sales. And the way you close a sale is you give value and you make offers. And that's it. That's what I have for you guys today. I do want to give you guys time for Q&A. So let me pull this up just so I can capture any questions that you guys asked in this video. Seriously, I feel like something is wrong with my iPad. I may have to take you guys over to my computer yet again because I cannot keep my iPad charged at all. So I do think I may have to, yeah. I'm going to have to take you guys over to my computer. Give me a second to head over there so that I can pull this screen up so that way we can make sure, hold on. I'm going to put you guys in a weird place and then I'll move you up because I understand that you're on my bus line right now, but give me just a second. I'm trying to pull up this video before I close out of it. Otherwise, I won't be able to see these questions. But what we're going to do is we're going to pop off and I'm going to do a little Q&A about closing the sale in business. Yeah, and for those of you guys who are interested in the business mindset manual, I know I use it as an example, but it's like a real thing. I didn't realize that was my screen capture. I don't know what it looks like I'm doing in this video, but I'm going to leave that as my screen capture. That's so funny. What I was trying to pull up. But what was I going to say? So the business...
Get online.
Sorry. So the business mindset manual is for sale. It is pre-order, which means that right now this is the lowest, most favorable price for you. So if you are thinking about the business mindset manual, you have until tomorrow to invest at the pre-order price. As I mentioned, it is a 50+ page manual. You get lifetime access to these videos as well as some exclusive videos that I don't share on YouTube. You also get a list of the business books that I recommend for shifting your business mindset and ultimately building a business that's sustainable and successful. And the purpose of the business mindset manual is to help you build a meaningful business and earn consistent income. So I have everything pulled up on this side, so I'm going to pop out and pop back on. Just give me